How long do I play cutback? If the back is working inside the tackle box, I need to work to the line of scrimmage and play the cutback. If the back is working for width and he's got his shoulder stern, all I need to do is come off the cutback and run, because he's not going to cut the damn ball back. So I thought, you know what, damn, that's smart. That's a good point. So I took that and applied it to the fronts. And it's really been a nice coaching point. It's really helped us. This is a shot against Southern Cal in 1984. And what I like about this shot is, and we're talking about separation here, what I like about this shot right here is we jolted both offensive guards. This Southern Cal team won the Rose Bowl that year, won the pack, and then won the Rose Bowl. They had some really good plays. Started from the top, if you would, right? Our 2-2 techniques right here. Both of them do a really good job of playing the blockers and really coming out of their legs and jolting them guards. But if you look closely at it, the one on the left doesn't do a good job of getting separation. The one on the right does. And the tailback runs right by the one, because he did a great job of explosion, but he didn't do the good job of separation. So he didn't find the ball. Okay? And let's stop doing it tight, because I'm getting to what the hell I was supposed to get to. After about 3 days. Okay, good. No, it ain't easy. This is what we talked about, though. This is another section talking about coaching the feet. And here's what we believe. Okay, here's what we believe. It's hips, hands, then feet. And I know a lot of us coach feet first, but the reason we don't do that is we come out of the hips and shoot the hand. We don't step first because we don't want the pads going up like that on the run. Now, if it's pass rush, if it's a long yardage situation or whatever, we long step that. If it's a run situation, if it's two backs in the backfield and tight end, if it's that personnel on the field and they go, and if it's 3rd and 2, you know, and it's 21 personnel or 2, whatever you want to call it, then we play it differently. If it's 3rd down and 12 and it's gun empty, then we play the footwork, everything's totally different. And that's built into the defensive call, or it's either call that we make it to line of scrimmage. And I said this last time we called. If we make a jet call, if our fronts make a jet call, the linebackers have to know it because it changes their kick. Rather than us, I saw him come in and coach it. Rather than spilling things and the linebacker working over the top, if we got a jet call, we leverage things and the linebacker's an inside fitter. Because we know that we can't really ask a guy to jet up the field and then divert and get under a blocker and spill and things like that. So the linebackers, rather than being over the top fitters with the ball spilling, when we got jet calls, the linebackers are inside fitters now. And the front are the people who leverage the block. That's a good point, guys. Anyways, there's 2 shots here. And if Brian, guys, y'all that went in here, I had to get Brian to run this thing because I wasn't smart enough to run this damn machine. I got outsmarted by this machinery, but he plays 3 technique here. And if he plays 3 technique as he does this machine, he's going to be in business, I tell you. Because this damn thing's hard to run, I tell you. But anyhow, hips, hands, then steps. Now, there's 2 shots in here, and if Brian don't screw it up where you can see this thing, I think it'll be me. Go ahead, Brian. I put the pressure on the head now, so go ahead. This is a little pre-practice drill on base block, hips, hands, and this is slow. This is training the feet. This is a reach block. Here's a right 3 technique. Here's a cutoff block, hips, hands, feet. Actually, his foot won't do what it does here because it just follows the man inside. All right, run it back, man. Right here. If we can see, I'm hoping you can see this because just to that far again, right back to the edge. Watch your nose now. He's going to explode, and then the foot comes. Explode, then the foot comes. Coaches, can y'all see that? Explode, then the foot. You see that? Really good. Run that back. Explode. Explode, then the foot. Go, run it back. Y'all see that? See, let me tell you guys, I believe this. I've been listening to people in clinics all my life. And they tell me things, and I see the film, and I think, well, shit, they ain't doing what he said. The test of the pudding is me if they do what the hell you're coaching them to do, okay? Whether it's wrong or right, you know? But anyhow, that shot right there is really good, I think, because you see the guy come out of his damn hips. Go back. I want to show my boy. That one right there is good. You can see that one, maybe even better than the far shot. Great gap responsibility deal right there. You see him play that again? Watch him here. Hips, hands, you done good right there. Yeah, just go, here, go. See the other step? That's what we really coach guys. Hips, hands, then step. It's a 3 technique, and then 59 is a 5. And here the ball, I got the ball coming here to the big end. Stop. Did you see where they were? 93 played the big gap. 59 was laid helping the big end. Because he's staying there and whipping this guy's ass and holding his point because the ball might do what? Kick outside. That, it just worked out really nice. Watch him here. The 3 plays quick on in the A gap and the B gap. And see 59 step behind. This is a nice drill. This is a spring drill. Run it back one time. This, yeah.
When one gap responsibility, you're not necessarily fighting to keep your gap automatically.
He was in his gap. He was right. He was in his gap. Had that ball come in that C gap, he'd give us so much a headache. Yeah. And you're gonna see this as a 4 technique. This is a 2 gap player. Run over, right? I know it. You'll see me do it. You think you're better. Boom, there he is. He's going to play his primary gap. Remember, this is all primary gap responsibility right here. Now, here he is on the sled. Run that back, right? He's playing 5 technique. And this is just different ways to do the drill, actually, is what I'm trying to show. This is against a man. Now, here it is against the sled. There's a 5 technique with the ball spilling outside. And he defends that gap. And here's the off season. He's using those arms like we talked about. He's going to defend his primary gap. Defend his primary gap. See the manager making the cut? And then you can say, here's the drill right here. You can use a bag and form up on it. You can use a man utility. Here's the drill. Right there. Now here's a 4 technique. Right up here, look where his eyes are, and he's going to make the play. Now, I use this shot also, coach, on this. Eyes lower than the blocker's eyes. Watch him now. You'll see it right here. It'll stop. Now, there's a cleat in the ground right here. Run back. There's not a cleat in the ground. I don't know where you can see that or not, but he's got great leverage in this guy. He's got his eyes lower than the blocker, and he's defending the inside there. That's what I want right there. And the linebacker, that's a 2 gap player. The linebacker is fitting off of him. And then we'll get to the, go ahead, Ryan. Coach, y'all see that? You see what I'm talking about there? This is a 5 technique right here, Jack, with the ball outside. That's what you and I were just talking about. Here's a nose guard playing A gap. And this is another shot of good eyes lower than the block. Back it up, Ryan. See if you can stop. Yeah. He's an A-gap player. Coach, he was in here last time. He's in a 4-point stance on that side. That's the guy I was talking about. One of the coaches asked me a while ago, and he said, 3.4. I said, you know what? If he's a really good, go ahead, Ron. We're going back to this. This is that second. Oh, go back. I'm sorry. This is secondary. I thought it was run it back. There it is right here. Look. Okay, go from there. Cross and make the play. Here's a 4 technique. See his nose inside, run it back. Coach, that's what you're asking right now. Here's a 4 technique. He's got his nose on the inside gap, and the ball comes to the other side. There's a Here it is on a sled. He crosses and makes a play. Now, stop it, right? What you gotta do is whip the blocker, but to make those plays on the other side, which you're gonna see a bunch of kids make, the first order of business is whipping that damn offensive line. Yeah, you can't make those plays. You know, and I got a thing on the wall at LSU, and it's the 7 steps in defending run blocks, okay? And we sit there in the meetings a lot of times, and the kids will say, up, he tried to do number 3 before he did number 1. It don't work. The first order of business is whip the blocker's tail. Separate, press the blocker as you locate the football. And then you can play plays like you're about to see on the secondary. Now this is a 5 technique, and he does it a little bit different, and that's the reason I use this one there. What he did when the kid came to the inside gap, he open stepped his hips like that, because that's what you do a lot of times. Theoretically, you don't cross many and make it on the line of scrimmage.
You want to give up a few yards because
That's your gap. You're secondary helping that you open. That's right. I just taught him to open the hips and be good helping to save the gap. Go ahead.
Coach?
Yeah. Yes,
Coach,
sir.
that was going to be my question. In high school, for the weaker players, do you encourage a drop step for the backside gap?
Face goes back and clear himself. If he cut it back, he'd probably been still. Now, I use this one. No. Go ahead. We're doing all season. This is what the arms like we talked about. Go ahead and run this. This is all secondary. And I think, now, here's an A-gap player against Nebraska. We'll go ahead and run it, Brian. We're going to see there's his eyes in the A-gap. The Nebraska ball carrier went to the B gap. He uses a shrug release and crossed the guy and play in the B gap. Okay? Run that back. Here, that's right. 5 technique. Staying outside. Ball commits inside. He crosses, makes the play inside. Nose. A-gap player over here. Cross, make the play over there. Same thing here. This is secondary gap responsibility. Y'all see it? See that? JT, can you see that back there?
Mm-hmm.
Run this back. Now guys, here's what I love to do right here. I love to catch a guy in a drill and then catch him in the game doing it. I love to do it. And I got a number of shots that way. I love to do that because I think when you see that, you say, well, maybe that old boy's full of shit. Maybe he does that. Here's a 3 thing. He's a left 3. Back, right, back. This is an all-season drill. Now here he is, and he's going to play in this B gap right here. The ball went the other way. And watch his play and see if you don't see. This is the drill. Shoot, right? Back. Now, whip the guy's ass. Then separation. Then press the blocker as you locate the ball. Then get you a good release whichever way the guy goes. Then make you a good tackle. That's all. Right, is that the first run back one? Let me see it one minute. I got to get to these blocks. JT, I was bad that last time. Boy, I didn't get started on what the guy was talking. Now watch the Ole Miss guard when he releases. Violent release. Violent release. Okay, and this is releases. I'll go fast through this. Okay, this is swim release. This is one of our releases, Coach, which is a 1-arm pull across the body, step away from the guy. Let me say something to you. Run that back one time. Let me say something to you, too. This is a short segment here. Watch the third kid here, not this one. This one does all right. Watch the third kid. No, watch this one. Oh, stop. That's the kid that played, was a senior, his name was Lowley, Chad Lowley. And I called him last time we were talking, a rolling ball butcher knives, because that's the way it is. That's what the guy is. If you get your kids to practice with that velocity and with that kind of effort, that's the way he does every rep. He sits in the meeting on the edge of the seat. He listens to everything you say. When you correct a mistake that he makes, Coach, he starts working on getting it fixed immediately. He is the backbone of that national championship football team that they had this year. And it's his practice habits, his playing habits, his meeting habits, his work habits in the weight room. I'm telling you, it's a reflection of that kid. He's the bell cow on that football. And his work, and let me tell you, he's very quiet. It ain't what we talk. You know, them damn actions are a hell of a lot louder than words, as everybody knows. And that's the way, he was an inspiration to me. I'm so dang proud I got a chance to coach him. Because that's the way he is. Anyhow, let's go. I'll be fooling around here all night and get this. This is a nose right here playing a gap over here and a nice swim release. This is a shrug, this is a two-handed pull. We teach them both, and kids decide. One other thing I might mention, if you'll watch all of them working on the line, I work all drills on the line, and I want them, when the drill is over, to be able to look down and see their feet across that line. Because the gate either works uphill or it works downhill. And defensively, we want that gate working uphill all the time. A rip release, this is a rip release. I heard a guy, stop it right there. I heard a guy say one time that he never taught a rip release until the ball was 3 holes removed. And I thought, man, I don't know if I can tell my guys. What I do tell them is this: a rip release, only use a rip release when the ball is working outside the tackle box. Because there's not a threat of the cutback. Because when you use a rip release, guys, you open your hips. And when you open your hips and that outside foot gets upfield, you ain't gonna make no plays on the cutback. So as long as the ball is in the tackle box, we use a swim or a shrug. If the ball works outside the tackle box, we can use a rip. It'll make a damn thing, 2 foot or 8 foot. This is a rip. Go ahead. Now the ball is working outside the tackle box. So okay, methods in teaching is learning to feed blocks. I built this tape for this clinic, actually. I worked about 3 months building the damn thing, but I ain't even got into it about halfway. But methods in doing it. And this is just my opinion now. This is just something that's been helpful to me. And I'm going to throw out there. These are some of the things in teaching blocks. Methods and drills. And the first thing that we try to do is this. In spring and early season, what we try to do is this right here. We try to, go ahead, brother. This is board drills, one-on-one challenge drills. This is stuff, these are toughness drills. These are leg ride drills. Go ahead and run through it. This is spring and early season. It ain't bad. This is one way of doing it right here. We're doing it at LSU. Then this is the way we're doing it. This is stay here. The one thing I tell them in drills like this is the first order of business. The first order of business is whip this guy's butt. That's the first order of business. And then get his butt whipped like everything. Then this is old board drill right here. You know, I've coached with offensive line coaches that really like this. There's one way of doing it. I don't like it if the guy don't have a ball, and I don't like a late whistle on it where it turns into a sumo wrestling contest, because somebody just gets hurt. And this is some of the way that we did it at Auburn right here. And you see the kids fighting to get their hands inside and all that stuff. I think it has a place. I think it's a good toughness builder. But I think it's early spring. I think it's early fall. This is a shoot drill, 3-on-3. It's a 10-yard deal. And you got 3 linemen or put a couple linebackers in there. This is a good early season or spring drill. And the offense is trying to gain 10 yards. It's a good drill. They get 3 shots to gain the 10 yards. They don't, the defense wins. All that kind of stuff. It's a good drill. And then when we start teaching A one-on-one drill, run it back right with the word drill. A one-on-one with no back. Now, I'm really into this because I think I know it's been helpful to me. The focus on defeating the block using proper technique. Let me tell you, if he's worth his salt, and if he's a guy you want to play for you, the thing he wants to do is make the tackle. He wants to make plays. He wants his name in the paper. He wants the pretty girls to know who he is. He wants, all of us that way, okay? But let me tell you, we started talking about it very first. The process is do the first things first. That first step, not the destination. So what I really like to do is to start off with a blocker with no ball carrier. And start defeating the block using proper technique. And then add the ball carrier. There's a time and you need the ball carrier. You need the ball carrier. But if you start off with him, the focus becomes find the ball, not play good technique and defeat the block. So what I like to do is start with no back. Go ahead. This is a reach block on an outside technique, coach. And you'll see his width, and you're going to see him attack that outside peg. Which means that the backside linebacker is going to play slow to the backside end. Right. He's got the backside end. Okay, and I don't even know why I got into that. Here, go ahead. But he's playing, my point in all of this is they're playing the block. Okay? Then what I think you need to do is add a back. Now your focus is on defeating the ball using proper technique, and then press the blocker low with the football. But you've done the first things first. You've learned to play the block, and then you've added the ball. Shoot. 4 technique, inside out, find the ball. 5 technique. Here's a 4 technique, the ball's going to go, that's his inside gap to his left over there. There's the ball. Here's a 4 technique. Here's the ball outside. Now we've added a ball. And the reason, stop at this bit, the reason you need to add a ball for the kid is this is a shot against Georgia. There's 2 shots here that show you why you need to add the ball and get that done. Back that up, Brian. Let's look at the nose. The nose is playing front side A right here. The nose is playing front side A. And the Georgia back is going to challenge the A gap, the front side A over there. And then he's going to roll it. Do you see Thomas come back off of it and make a play in the backside of it? Now, run this back, right? The 4 technique here, the right 4 technique. Number 70, the right 4 technique. Well, this is Thomas here. Backside, he's going to make a play in the backside A. And here's the right 4 technique. He's got the big gap. He takes it away, and then he takes away the C gap. Because he played the block and then located the football. Okay? Now, well, I added this right here because of this. In every read drill, as kids progress, I think you need to put a pass block in there. You need a drop back look to make them not only play the block, but to be ready always to get out of their stance and play the pass block, even if it's not barnyard or whatever. So I'm always mixed with that. I think that's helpful to them. Okay? Now, 30 defense, or 5-4 defense, or whatever you might call it. The 2-on-1 drill and the 3-on-1 drill. The 2-on-1 for the ends and the 3-on-1 for the nose. And I just showed this drill, I think. There's the end right here. Here's the nose in a 3-on-1 situation. 40 defense, 3-on-1 with the ends, 3-on-2 drill with the defensive tackles. And I try to run both of these at the same time. There are the ends, run it back right. There are the ends right up here. There are the ends up here on the 40 defense. There are the ends, and here's the 3-on-2 drill with the tackles. Now stop it just a minute. Here's what you can do. And I was at a visit to a place last week, spoke to the claim, watched them practice at a college in Alabama. and the coach did this. He went over here and he did this, and these people over here were thumbing their ears. And he went over here and he worked this, they were thumbing their ears. What I tried to do, what I learned, what I watched people and what I learned was, if I get right here, I can run this drill in there. I can go like that. Time is all of our enemies. The other thing, I learned this from a buddy of mine that was with the New York Giants for years. Really, really good defensive line coach. He would work the nose here. He'd have the left defensive end here, and the right defensive end over here. And he'd stand right here. And rather than doing all that traveling, he'd run this drill, he'd give the nose a block, he'd tell him, you know, say bam, bam, pull. And he'd run that and he'd turn and he'd work the left end in the re-drill, he'd work the right end in the re-drill, he'd turn around and work the nose. It kept it bought 2 or 3 extra reps in a practice, which we're all after, and it's all important. Now, here's a 5-on-3 or 5-on-4 drill. And what I did on this, just to show you, go ahead, Brian. Anytime that you get more than one blocker, this is one of my drawings right here. This is the drill, and back it up right. I try to do this, and I try to do it really neat for the, where I don't get mad with the damn scout team or the young guys. Back it up on that drawing. I try to do this. I try to draw it, and really I got the blocks down here. This is what I call the tug block. This is what I call scoop block. This is cutoff block. And so anytime I add more than 1 or 2 guys, I always draw the thing for them because they'll execute it a hell of a lot better. Okay, go ahead, shoot. That's a 5-on-3 drill. Could be 4. Here's Coach, this is what we were talking about on the plane coming out. Run this, man. Do this good, okay, man? All right, this is a 4 technique. All right, hold on a minute. This is a 4 technique. I think this is good coaching right here. I hope it'll be, you'll like it. Hold right there, right? This is a 4 technique, inside technique player. This is the tackle, and this is the guard. Actually, we're doing the same thing. We rotate the read. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a zone block. And the guard's going to step in his hip and then work up the field to the linebacker like the people teach him to do. Okay? And what I teach is the angle of departure from the line of scrimmage of the blocker. And I like to work things in combinations. Now, he's going to play zone first because that's what he reads. I hope. Now, this is fan block. There's zone, and he reads it as zone. There's fan, and he reads the the tackle, turn his pads on the outside back. He now works back into the guard because it's a fan block. Okay, so here's what he sees. I'm the tackle. I zone him, even though I got the guard zone stepping it up the field. I zone him, and he played it like the first time. Now, I turn my pads and fan on the outside back, and he plays fan work. The first step of the offensive lineman was identical, and then the pad level changed. It changed from a reach block to a fan block. I try to couple things like that together where they'll learn to read the angle.